Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Craig Burrell, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Commander Phil Andrews. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. If you're able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the hearts of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Pilot Officer Frank Leslie Oliver Thorn. Frank Thorn was born on the 16th of August 1912 in St Arnaud, Victoria, one of 5 sons born to James and Beatrice Thorn. He grew up in Melbourne's suburb of Thornbury and after school worked for the Black and White Whisky Company. Having played club cricket for Thornbury, Thorn went on to play 7 first-class matches for Victoria. The off-spinner was famed for dismissing Donald Bradman for 5 in a 1939 match against South Australia, thwarting Bradman's hope of achieving a record 7 consecutive first-class centuries. In January 1941, Thorn married Bertha Clare McIntosh, but the pair would not be together for long. On the 3rd of February, Thorn enlisted in the Royal Australian Air Force at Melbourne. After training in Essendon, Amberley and Nil, he was posted to 23 Squadron in January 1942. Based at RAF Station Archerfield near Brisbane and equipped with CAC Wirraways and Lockheed Hudsons, 3 Squadron were conducting seaward patrols and escorting shipping. On the 11th of February 1942, Thorn was a crew member on a Hudson that took off from 7 Mile Drome near Port Moresby. The formation of 3 Hudson bombs 2 Japanese ships at Gasmata Harbour, the Kirinyu Maru and the Kozu Maru. Over the target, the planes were intercepted by 4 Japanese fighter aircraft that had taken off from Gasmata Airfield. Japanese pilot Satoshi Yoshino claimed 2 Hudsons in that combat, one of which was the aircraft in which Frank Thorn was a crew member. 4 men were lost with the aircraft: Flying Officer Graham Gibson, Sergeant Barton Courty, Sergeant Arthur Quayle, and Pilot Officer Frank Thorn. A RAF search party spotted the wreckage of the Hudson, which it was assumed the one containing Thorn, in the Sea of Gasmata, but was unable to recover anything from it. The entire crew was declared dead on the day of the mission, and the crew members were listed on the Rabaul Memorial as having no known grave. It wasn't until 2008, 66 years after the aircraft had gone missing, that its wreckage was discovered by a missionary on New Britain and his son in the thick jungle on a ridge inland from the town of Gasmata. Frank Thorn's name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, among almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Pilot Officer Frank Leslie Oliver Thorn, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. lest we forget.
We forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial, and we wish you all a very good evening.